It was another banner week for celebs weighing in on politics. Bruce Springsteen wrote a brand new ballad called Streets of Minneapolis, which goes as follows. A city aflame fought fire and ice beneath an occupier's boots. King Trump's private army from the DHS, guns belted to their coats. But the right had its moment in the sun, too, when famed rapper Nicki Minaj joined President Trump to promote his Trump accounts, which give $1,000 to newborn American babies for investments. She called herself Trump's #1 fan, and the two held hands on stage and later made a TikTok together. What a world. Joining me now is managing editor of the satirical news site Babylon Bee, Joel Berry. Thank you so much for being here, Joel. So did the right actually win the celeb game this week?
I don't know. It's hard to say who wins these things. And when it comes to Bruce Springsteen, I'm a millennial, so I confess I kind of had to look this guy up. Okay, who's Bruce Springsteen? I forget. But, you know, the first thing that came to my mind was like protest song. Like, what is it, 1965? When's the last time a protest song did anything? And it's kind of funny because it is kind of indicative of this whole anti-Trump movement. What you see when you look at these No Kings protests, these anti-ICE protests, you see really a lot of elderly people, a lot of boomers who are kind of trying to recapture the glory days of the civil rights era, the Woodstock era. You know, you look at Minneapolis, you see a bunch of 65-year-old Episcopalians carrying signs, and it's just so uncool. I don't know what they think they're accomplishing here. You know, on the other hand, we have now the conservatives have Nicki Minaj, which I can't say that I'm a lifelong Nicki Minaj fan myself, but you know, I do think she is to be commended for her courage. She's alienated a lot of her fan base, I'm sure, the entire entertainment industry. I'm sure this will cost her. You know, the thing about the right, though, is whenever a celebrity comes over to, you know, our side, we get really excited because we're so used to being hated by literally everybody. I've kind of learned from, you know, our friend Kanye West that the best approach for these things is maybe to kind of wait and see, you know, see what happens, give it a few months. But I'm very happy for Nicki, and I'm proud of her for standing up for what she believes in, at least.
It's very hard to take on the entire, you know, entertainment industry, which is so heavily coded as left, but you guys do an amazing job at the Babylon Bee. I want to read a few of your headlines just from this week, which were incredible. We have one on Bruce Springsteen. Bruce Springsteen threatens to keep releasing songs until the deportations stop. You had another one. Man outed as Nazi for saying we should have laws and borders. U.S. posts Minneapolis on Craigslist for $50. And then one that I think really got to the heart of it, which is too cold to start civil war right now. Nation agrees. Joel, how do you guys come up with these?
Oh my goodness. Well, it's kind of it's good and bad because on one hand, you know, when there's all kinds of terrible news in the culture in our country, it's not a good thing. We want good news, but it's great for the Babylon Bee because it gives us plenty of material, and it is nice to be able to kind of look at the tragedy, the daily tragedy of our news cycle in a comedic light, because you have to laugh at this stuff. You know, we have a lot of good writers. You know, every morning we're looking at the news, we're finding out, we're kind of trying to think about what's funny about the news, and we just riff on things. We riff on things for a few hours until we come up with a few gems and put them out there. And it's amazing. You know, I've been doing this about 6 years now, and I'm still not tired of it.
There was a very funny one about Don Lemon last week, which I'm not going to put up because it was a little bit not so
I know which one you're talking about.
You know which one I'm talking about. Viewers, go look it up. But I will say, I want to talk about this. Don Lemon was arrested for his role in that protest at that church. The FACE Act prohibits intimidating or interfering with Americans in a place of worship. Now, his lawyer is saying that Don Lemon is a journalist. He had a First Amendment right to be in that church. What was your reaction to this, Joel?
Yeah, well, you know, conservatives became very familiar with the FACE Act during the Biden, or the Biden. I'm getting Obama and Biden mixed up. During the Biden administration, because he was using the FACE Act to put elderly women, 75-year-old women. He put a young mother of toddlers in prison under the FACE Act for blocking entrances to abortion clinics. Sometimes they would, they'd be a part of a protest, they'd be singing or praying in front of an abortion clinic. And we saw these women mercilessly put away for years under the FACE Act. And so I think Don Lemon is going to have a hard time finding any pity from the right. I think if the Democrats are upset about this, they should talk about repealing the FACE Act. If you want to protest in our churches, we should be allowed to protest at your abortion clinics, or maybe we should just agree to leave each other alone and live and let live. So we need to solve this problem the way Americans solve things, by lobbying and changing the law so that we can just live our lives.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.